Okay, so I'm still in this account. Much to the chagrin, I did not blow it up. So we're going long. As I stated, I think a short squeeze is in order. This is the beginning of the month. We've been going down. Oh, in case ICT is watching, that's my frame. I framed the market. See how that works? See? And I cashed out of about half of my margins, so I was almost in three. I was in $1.5 million, 1.3. So for you to trade like this in NASDAQ, if you're trying to trade NASDAQ with these scripts, I'm trying to rename them right now. So I did write some NASDAQ scripts here I'm going to post later on. Somebody asked me to do this, and then I have one Bitcoin. People are asking for Bitcoin scripts, but you have to build off of this, because once you get the decimal point right, then you can just build off of these, and then you can create your own little circus of pendings. And I have the market orders too. The NASDAQ at the market orders in here. So the work becomes how to name the script so it makes sense. Now what this means is in a range of 5 pips, and the reason why I put 0 there is so that comes at the top of the rack. And then when you come over to favorites, you can have them any arrangement you want. But here, the way you write it, it's forcing it to be at the top just to organize things. This here is, I do have a NASDAQ, so I got enough tickets available now. I could go trade NASDAQ on the side now if I wanted to. And this I could walk away from the trade. And I do think the this is an insane move in NASDAQ, and it's unsustainable. So saying this would be a headshot, okay? The headshot's already been headed on this month. It's a monthly headshot, so you'd be selling here. Now whether you sold here or you risked your whole account, and if you were going to write it out what you perceive to be, maybe by I could imagine at least this is a possible price here. The next top become a bottom window. I wouldn't even try to, like, you can't even see that price on here. So when you go to the daily, you see how far away that is. Like, so how far away do you want to be before you get filled? We know that if they come into this, they take out the low here, it's going to be just a ball crusher, right? That's a really and if it just keeps cascading, it would be called a stop hunt, right? For the goobers that went long at the top tick Tommies, that just like when they went in Bitcoin. How Bitcoin done it? So Bitcoin is at a buy right now, and it's probably on a buy all the way down. These trades are going to take like 2 or 3 days to play out. We're buying new lows in the Bitcoin right now. I mean, I'm not saying I am buying that, but the thought is we're buying here based on the fact that it's dipping into this window. So the idea of blowing up the account at this time, this moment, I'd have to work at it, and I could put in the I will put in a Bitcoin script. Now this is just a generic. You have to open it up and find out what it says in there, and then how do you want to name it? How do you want to describe it? Since all my scripts have a time expiration, you could go time first. So if you're approaching the market by time, I want to trade in 8-hour windows, 150 pips deep, and I want the market to come into these dark pools. So you're creating your own dark pool, or your own, what would you call it? Anything you want, right? We know there's people down there trading. We got I think the like the dark money that they talk about in politics really triggers people. So I guess you could call it the rack of orders. Like if it comes down, it'd be a spaz attack. And if Bitcoin starts to come down to like 50,000, you're almost down 20,000. You're down 15,000 right now from the classic booster shot that these assholes bought into up here. Okay, this is what I'll piss off both people. Equal opportunity abusers. So look at this. Another perfect sell into my 5-period moving average on simple math. Not exponential, not weighted, not smooth, not just simple. And like RSI. And we'll put RSI on there. 3-period. We're looking for divergences. We're looking for so the no nonsense guy, he just doesn't understand how to do RSI properly, let's face it. Plus it's hard. Oh. 3-period. White on white. I call this white white privilege RSI. So okay, let's go for this. We're gonna do signals like this, and we're just gonna take the this would be 2 confirmations. So this would be like a mini system. You'd only take the bias, or this is the bias switches here. Okay? There's your bias. Some guy was whining about bias. You don't understand biases, dude. You can pick bias on any time frame. It's like where's the pull? What's the pullback for you? So here, guaranteed. If you look at this and trade RSI instead of price, you got top, you got support, breakout. This leads price, so this is ahead of price. It's so sensitive. Anything below this is a buy. For that, when it comes back to the floor of here, you should get out. Now it's to the floor. This top becomes a bottom. So it's walking forward, and then here you have the kind of a long-legged reversal. But if we went to the weekly chart, I'm sure it's maybe not there yet. This would be called a 1, 2, 3, 4 period reversal, because if it went one more bar, it would still be a good trade, and it did. It wicked up. So it's not a perfect world. This is the daily chart. We know we want to buy the Bitcoins down here with lay-in limits. Now, how much money is that to you? I don't know. You could lay in, like you want to risk $500 to make 1,000 back to the floor. You're going to martingale in, right? You buy a 1K, a 2K, a 3K. Okay, so this is kind of trades you do, but I'd say this Bitcoin trade, they fill these limits. You cash out to the floor. That's the fucking trade, right? Because sellers should be coming in here. But if it just wicks down, dink. Let's do color change. If you go on dink, a little bit down there, and you make the little spike. That's all you need. See. Let me start over. Let's do what we don't want to cover up too much with the secrets. A secret trade. Boy, I felt bad for that video I saw of ICT. I thought, God, he's having mea culpa right there. He's like, come on. Thank you, Jesus. I'm buying Bitcoin this morning right now. I mean, for Christmas, I'm buying people Bitcoin. Headshot right there. Now, that's the beginning, and this is all I was trying to say. Don't get a flamethrower. Today, you got a limit here. So you're in one, and you got a limit. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, this could be a 1K and a 2K, a 3K. You lay track like this. Or, to save time, and somebody asked about the $5 drops. What's going on in the link, the $5 drops, is out of the convenience of all mankind, out of all the stress and thinking about should I do this or that, you make this fork in the road. You claim you're risking $5 per drop. That's the win has nothing. So I can't spell out the wins on every one of those because I wasn't going to write the whole pack of that, but it is in there. When you're buying a 2K, you have a 50 pip stop, and a 1K you have a 100 pip stop. I'm sorry. That would be the $10 drop. So every time you drop a ticket, it's going to cost you $10, but you can do a lot with that. So it's a scalp. because the 10's going to have a 10 pip stop, and then you have 10K on a convenience and 10K with a 10 pip stop and a 1 pip stop. I'm sorry, 100 pip stop and a 1K. So it is kind of confusing, but in the spectrum all the way to there, I just made it like about 5 series, I think 5 deep, in sizing, so that the convenience of saying, oh yeah, I can see this is like child's play. If this is a 5-minute chart, the guy that's asking about the expiration, how it matters. If this is a 5-minute chart, imagine, well, how coming into also right now we're coming into the opening U.S. markets. It's a 5-minute chart. What's the trade plan? So the limit plan, set it, forget it. You see this, you go, oh, it's going to look like a fucking train wreck. And if you have the time and you're going to put in these $5 drops, and you want to run the 25 pip stops, you know exactly that's a 4K. And you just keep playing 4Ks all day. So that's the idea of the $5 drop, is that out of convenience, okay, this is all about trying to save labor. You don't have to dig a ditch. You just put a fucking ticket in. So the other guy that was freaking out, we had this big fight. I kept saying, well, why don't you split the ticket? But he said, oh, it's the system. So he's talking about signals, and I'm talking about position sizing. So that's a huge bifurcation. You're off into the other thing, you know? So here, this turtle soup we're coming into, in case you're ICT. And I'm sure some people are making money flipping a goddamn coin, they say. Now, this would be if you can weight the coin in your favor. And here, it's about bias. And what is bias? It's a filter so you don't fucking overtrade and blow up the count. Hopefully it's pulling back into my limits I placed here on the euro. So I didn't think the euro was going to keep going up. This is just before 4 a.m. So yeah, they're going to beat the shit out of this thing today. Christmas. So there's a big Christmas sale. I'd say Cyber Monday is going to be buying this puppy around from here all the way down. That's another $5,000 drop. I'd say for the next $5,000 down, I put it every $1,000 I put a limit. That's my big brainstorm. So in the box here, stepping into that window by the end of the next, as you come into the end of the year, his Bitcoin is so the big horror for people would be, wait a minute, I went to Bitcoin because I was trying to save myself from inflation, but it's just a spike. And all of a sudden people on the other side of the ship going, oh my god, this thing's going to back up. Hey guys, get out of the way. This thing's backing up, get out of the way. So that's the other problem. You know, this stuff. But we are dipping in the window here, and if you want to be technical about it, because people love to be technical, dude, you have no idea. So, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? So here we are. We're tanking into my buy window on the Bitcoin. To be on the safe side, start buying here only. This shelf. This is the undercut, right? So this is like a fact of life. There's a huge liquidity pool and iceberg orders down here and dark pool orders down here, see? So that's coming into the pool. Brian Epstein pool. Grab your beers, we're going in. So I don't think I'm going to place an order down here on the Bitcoin today because it's just too far away. I mean, so the perception of price over time, what's going to happen, what is the price pulse, the completion of this should be, you're now in a channel, right? I'd be cashing out. If I sold here, I'd be like, dude, we scaled out here, we took something off here, and I wouldn't add to it. I'm just not that kind of guy. Now you could on the lower time frame, but in this one, I'd be like, well, let's finish the fucking. We'll have a short squeeze. The dollar's going to get clobbered. Stocks are going to get clobbered. And maybe Bitcoin gets clobbered because on the supposed what do they call it? The wealth effect. When people start to cash out because of taxes end of the year and all this stuff, it's going to be high drama, right? So we're going to see this thing dip into this box here. So that's my version of the algo box. And you should be short. It's blue. The RSI thing is divergence, right? Easy peasy. Why are people running? I mean, if you're not running a line chart, dude, you got to get off my stream. We can't talk anymore. We broke up. Buy into the cloud. 5-period moving average. Buy the pullbacks. It's easy peasy, right? Until it gets to here and you're like, oh wait, oh shit, fuck. Okay, got you, but what's your target? You know, this is a daily chart, man. You're waiting like fucking. You're waiting for this setup, and this is a reversal. This is 0, right? I'm sorry, this is this price. Yeah, this is way back here. The first reversal is here, so this is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4-period. Then we get a divergence that is. I'm going to count this one. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-period divergence. So it just keeps whipping. So every time you get a divergence, you should get a sell. In a trend, you're going to see the first RSI reversal. Right, this is this one, which projects to here. You find the highest close between this price pulse. So it does move in pulses. Elliott wave, the biggest wave is 3. But this thing keeps changing, right, and unfolding, and people just lose their mind. It's just, but RSI is the ultimate because against closing prices. So divergence should give you a buy, right? Here's the scalp, the pullback. You got to get out. Daily chart. There's a reversal. That is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything below 5, you got to take the trade. If you're gonna bother with it, right? So another buy. This is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-period reversal, right there. You're counting from here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, this is 4. 2. This is stuff, dude. I paid $2,000 for this shit. This is the rhythm of the market with a bias of a 5-period simple moving average, which is the tail end of that. We're at the tippy top here. It's the 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, which is 0, right? 1 against 1, which is the bar. And I'm running it on close. So if you want to say things like, so if you go to Vinny's channel, he's got this whole fucking like 20. This is a dipstick. This is the bing bang. Here it's more like you should be long from the beginning of the month. You just go, dude. So this is a very unlaggy moving average crossover. So this is the 2-period moving averages, this cloud. And that means it's bullish. Wait for a pullback. You don't get much of a pullback, so people did chase into it. They create this insane momentum, and you got this baby pullback. And this is actually a great entry because the first time you see divergence, look for a reversal. And those kind of things, you're just pacing the market. Now you should be short. There's no doubt. There's no other trade. I mean, this is the only way to do it, right? Momentum traders, trend traders. They have to have a bias. I get it. I'm not fucking retarded, dude. So you sell. You don't have a choice. You do the signal count. 5, 5 to 1, or 5 to 2, 2 to 5. You can't have 0. That's just pull. That'd be pulling the trigger at that moment. Okay, so the buyers are coming in right now on Bitcoin, and here's the thing. You know the thing. Okay, let me go for this. Start over. I gotta change the time frame. Okay, so let's scroll through. We're in a 4-hour chart. Next time frame. So big sell, big buy here. But I wouldn't go. So if you got a triple screen, some guy was talking about all these systems and everything. You know, sure. If you got a trade plan though, you're in. I'm going to run my one Bitcoin script here, and hopefully I know this should be a limit that just loads either direction here. Okay, so it's a buy limit. And I don't know where the stop is. Maybe there isn't one. So that might be a bad ticket anyway. So if you do something like that, make a mistake, just go like this, close the ticket. Ooh, it's actually a couple tickets. Yikes, that's not good. Oh gee, I don't think we're going to hit that anyway. So let's go manually take it off here. I don't see it. Oh, it's by price. Wait. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a stack. So let's forget what I said. But I'm not going to post that. So the 1 hour. And the 1 hour. So I don't know. See, the problem with the 4-hour chart is if you do this triple screen idea. Now here you would say, okay, there is no bias. I'm allowed to sell. These rules. Okay. Do you want to have this rule set on the 1 hour? Says essentially a 5-hour chart, because of this trail is the 5-hour thing, and you break it, you bang, you bong, bang. The Bitcoin thing, I don't think you're gonna look for since you're on a 1-hour chart, you're probably not gonna want to change your bias here and start selling. Maybe. Well, you typically go to a longer moving average per time frame, so it's time frame built, and that way you can count. See, if you lose count, you're fucked. 1 hour chart. Now the half hour's got more signals, and it works. It would on the 15. You are in sell mode. Like this is your first hope it's going to go up. It does good on the 15, but the market's got to be screaming. So we're going. I don't have the tickets available, but they'll go like this right now. Would be the next choice. The only choice for me. I look at the clock. It is going to be. It's 4 o'clock right now. It's been 4 o'clock for 30 seconds. I say let's buy right now, just because it's 4 o'clock. Buy one here, and have another one in the wings on deck to go in. Buy right now, and then limits. Here's where these are going to last. Maybe for 4 8 hours, and then these would last all day. Where do you start your buy rack? So this is just a lot of inventory control. If you're going to trade like this and wait for the market to come to you, and just now you're kind of getting a sell signal. Look at this. It's a reversal. This thing, the RSI has been crushed on a 3-period RSI. Wow, here, look at the sell. See, now watch the momentum on this 5-minute. Now you can see how momentum is when you start to see your first reversal. It's setting up right now in the 15. So everybody's waiting. All the trend traders are waiting for Chase's plans. They want to rally, and the next 15 to lock it in. And 15 minutes after, if it's up, people are going to be selling because they don't know if it's because it's in sell mode. We can see what the trend traders are thinking. We can see what everybody's thinking. But did you buy Bitcoin when it dipped in the window? You know, did you buy below here? If you scaled in all the way into that pocket and took that risk, you wait to get paid, you know. You're waiting how long here, right? How long is it going to take? Is that like a job? I guess waiting. Small positions, you wait a long time to make the exact same amount of money. The people that trade the NASDAQ with their finger on the trigger like a crackhead and pull the trigger. So everybody's on a different page there. Look, it's tanking. So now we're starting to lose. Now we're going to go underwater. See, but buying at the market is like the dumbest fucking trade in the world, isn't it? I mean, don't you feel like you've been tricked? So in the 5, there's a first glimmer of crossover. The 1 crossing over the 2. So I once took on my CD robot and ran the 1 across the 2. I don't know if you've ever done that. You could set up. You could have this. This should be your scalping time frame. I'd say 1 hour. So what is a scalp? I would say just buying right now. I'm cashing out. So whatever I bought, and we always wish we bought a lot down here. Whatever we bought down there is going to be okay. So I'm cashing out right now. Going right back to this wick. Everybody's mind's blown here. Look how Black Friday. When Black Friday comes, Bitcoin's going to get a run. Look at that fucker, dude. Oof, another 5,000 down, maybe. I was just planning on just buy some here. So the scalpers took their money. They're out. In 5 minutes, they're out of that trade. So that might be it. Now we can start tanking again. Every goober on Thanksgiving, they talked around the table and they, oh, we should read about my Bitcoin. The world's coming to an end. Yeah. Tell me how that's going to turn out. Call me in a few minutes. Yeah, the 5-minute trader just sold that rally. We know they did because the guys that trade this system, that they just pulled the trigger on the dude. You know what they said? Here's confirmation. Bottom became a top. Sell. Bottom become the top. Sell. No brainer, right? Put your stop here. Start cashing out below that. But really, how big did you sell here? Right? What's the how big did we sell here? Look at the spread on this goddamn thing. $124. So this is just a mother. Watch the goobers in action into the end of the year. Wow, fascinating. It's great not to trade this shit. I mean, I'm so glad I don't have to rebuild everything dialed in for, oh, here the euro's starting to take off again. Maybe I should buy some at the market. Wait. Okay, let's buy some here. So I'm still in this trade. Let's just put these 1Ks in. At the market, now we put some limits in really tight. I saw this guy on the stream had, this guy in Discord had the scripts. Yeah, that's funny. Um, they were accusing him of being inside. He was in an inner circle situation. He was under circle suspicion. Inner circle suspicion. Who are you? Come right this way. Oh, it's a big building with a dome I'd like to take you to. We're just going to visit a little bit and put your feet up on some desks. It's going to be fine. Don't worry. Oh, you'll be fine. Oh, it's good. No, they've got all sorts of really pretty paintings. Okay, so it looks like it's just going to rip. I bought a little bit at the market, but probably not enough. So to make up for this situation, how to scale in without really worrying about is the one case. But it looks like they're going to blow their brains out here to the upside. So let's come underneath it with 2-hour scripts because I don't want them to keep going right now. It looks like they're going to run away with it. I wish I had the access to the shorter time frames. I think down here I got 4 hours. I want the real short time frames. Don't have it in this one. Unfortunately, they're not in this platform. So this is Lazy Man's platform. We'll put 4 hours is all we got. So we'll come right underneath it with 4 hours. Risking $7 to make $7 for 4 hours. I don't know if that's worth it, but you can make these bigger. And this is the idea of the $5 drop, is that you could rewrite this script so this would be $70 to make $80. What you're asking here, I try to build a spread into that maybe. A 14 pip stop to make 26 pips for 4 hours. So if I put it up here, which I wouldn't because I want to do nothing but buy this thing, I start to trail it like that, right? But instead of me making a script that risks $70 to make $80, I decided to make one that is, I can layer them like this. See how they're stacked? So I've got a hot spot just below me. It's supposed to be in buy mode, but let me just get in on limits. This is a clever way of getting in. Let me get in on limits and go, go. I know math-wise that if I hadn't cashed out of something up here, so these are predetermined exits, I dump half my position because I have the array. Now, you could dial this in any way you want. Right now, it's 12 pips to make 14 of the market. Bing, bang, bang. So I put this. I can put this in the Discord easier than I can put it on the fucking hightail because it just drives me crazy. So I'll put this in there. That's for members only. There's no membership, I don't think. But I accidentally clicked on something. Discord almost charged up $100 accidentally. Oh, look at that. It's the 10-minute traders. So it looks like we're going to rip your face off to the north side. Look at the weekly. My tickets in relationship on the weekly, look at where they're sitting. Like, there's the 4-hour view. 4 hours. Let's pull it back. Some guy was saying that Vinny and I are the worst traders in the world. I wanted to see his stuff, but I'm still waiting to hear back. I'm still recovering from fucking. This is a 14-hour stream, and I was up for about 30 hours. So I had to go to the store, and I thought I was like drunk. I almost had to pull over for that. Yeah, this was a real marathon session, but it got a little rough. And they chopped off the end. You got to thank yourself for that because it got really. I think they took it off. Honestly, there's a certain their algo apparently is able to clip, but it's not able to let music play in the background because that's got got a big lock on it financially, where there's no finance in saying inappropriate language. So I suspect in some way, unless there was a limit, because I noticed that it was about to get to 12 hours, so it was 11:55, and maybe it's got a 5-minute clock meter running. I did a stream one that was longer than that. There might be a limit. It has to be, right? But I see streams that are just streaming away. I guess they never post because they don't turn off the stream. That's a different situation. As soon as you stop the stream, it's going to truncate it, you know? This is what happens. So I'll just sit in this position. It's okay. If it backs up, we get in, you know? That's just how it is. And here you have to go against your system. On the 5-minute, if you run this algo, or this, whatever you call it, moving average, on the 5-minute chart, yeah, you can't just say stuff like, well, you kind of like, you can't buy this, you could buy this pullback here, but supposedly you should be short into that, and like, now you're getting whipsawed. I call it getting whipsawed because it's like, you know, Baby Don't Hurt Me, Saturday Night Live. It's like a belly bucking contest here. But I'm doing it based on, my limits are based on, okay, I know it's going to be bullshit up and down. Let's just fucking buy it. Let's buy that for 4 hours, and it's hard to blow up the account. I could come back to 5,000, my original deposit. In the weekly world, it looks like it's still the bias is still down. Bias is still down. First time the market has come back to life. We got our first crossover, so bye. Now the 4 hours is going to be less trading, better signals, so to speak. So you're taking these blind looks at the market, just never going to work out. Trust and believe. If you say, oh look, it's okay, I guess you have to be in a long bias looking for a setup. You buy here and you're like, that didn't work out. What's this guy's fucking system? Well, you're supposed to be in buy mode, but going to the, and I think this indicator will run an MT5, and then you just put it to the 6-hour chart and the 8-hour chart. If you want that kind of filter, or just go up a notch to the daily, and now your signals come every 2 to 5 days. If you're going to do triple screen, you have weekly on the left, daily in the middle of you. That's it. So that would be for a person who wants to be in the trade for about 5 days and make about maybe 100 pips, 200 pips, as opposed to 20 pips in 4 hours, because the market wicks down, rips back. Depends how often you want to trade it. So this would be your kind of, if you bought because it turned color here, you know, your bias is long, slightly short bias. It's just kind of peeking out the moving average there, but even the trend line people are like, well, dude, you broke the trend line here, you know, this is the first breakout, coming back, here's the floor, the scalpers made their money, the sellers are supposed to take it from here based on this typical downtrend idea. And in the uptrends, you know, here's the headshot, right? It's not secret stuff, you know. We assume this is a shoulder, and this is the head. And if you're cashing out, you don't quite make it to target. 4 hours down. All right, let's load the wagon. We can run a tighter stop. We don't know, it could keep tanking. We're going to go for the engulfment of, so in the framing, and this is the lonely wick, so you should be cashing out above this. It's not 618's in your head. It doesn't exist. 618's a waste of time. It's a waste of time, man. below here is the optimal trade entry. It's called optimal trade entry. You have to say it properly. So, bang, whoosh, buy, buy, buy. Everybody's telling me, watch Simpleton blow up the account. Yeah, watch Simpleton blow up another account, man. Dude, you gotta get in. You gotta get in on that bitch. And maybe you're cashing out now. Anything above here. And look at it. It's coming up right into the sell window. Cha-ching-a-bing. Cha-ching, coming all the way back to Sunday. Now the true short squeeze would be you rip all the way to like just around this shelf, right? This window. 20 pip window here. This is the 100 pip. 100 pip. These are 20 pips apart. You should have made 60 pips on this trade. This is your like 30 pips here. Pull back 30 or 20. Maybe 25 there. This is like 40 pips. Whatever, but yeah, I'd definitely be cashing out. This would be. So I could get out the whole thing now, be at 9,000. But if I did that right now, so there's the other thing that I wasn't doing, and this is how you really make money trading: is that if I cash out everything right now and put in limits, like 5 pips deep, all the way down, big giant racks of tickets. And say, oh, this bitch is pulling back, dude. Let's dump and reload. Rinse and repeat, I think they call it. Because in the end, it's ranging. Look at this fucking thing. This is what people, this is the problem, see. Let your profits run is pulling away at your brain saying, if it was that easy to get in, yeah, but what if it doesn't pull back, see? But it's pulling back. It might spike up. By the time U.S. markets open, it might be at that 100-yard line right here. All the way back, actually flirting with the where it all began. I'm going to put RSI on this one too. 3-period RSI. That's get her done trading. 3-period RSI. Get her done. That's how we roll it, man. Got to roll it too, yeah. Okay, we go for insert. Bend over, baby. Okay. RSI. We're looking for 2 to 5 periods. We're looking for divergence. It's pretty simple stuff. No divergence down here though, look at that. Not until you go to the daily maybe. Okay, daily has... Now this is called hidden divergence because here's your first divergence, kind of a fail. Because it's based on 0, so this is 1, 2, 3 period divergence. This is 0 bar. Your first, no, well, I guess we should count that as 0. And then it's tight, right? And then this is a little divergence. If you stretch it out, well, here's the deal. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. If you look real close, so the way to really kind of get if you trade the RSI, you got to stretch it out. Divergence right here. So if you're keen to what that looks like, it looks like that. You would have to pull the trigger right here under the floor. This is the headshot entry, right? Well, this is a headshot too that kind of like, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. You're hoping it does this shit, but everything's a fucking headshot on a certain time frame. Like here's divergence. Okay, you bought into that, but then down, and then this is the same hidden divergence. See, this is inside. If you try trend line here, this one's inside of it. This one you don't really have it, but I'm going to call this one that on the 2-period RSI, this is a reversal, right? This is also the bias has been down for on the dailies for this long. And now we're going to come flying back. But a lot of people are already cashed out. They're just like, that was a great trade we just made. We just almost got the account back to 8 grand, 9 grand, almost back to 10 grand. Now back to, we were at about this level on the account equity wise. Start off with 5 grand. We power into it. It's the biggest sell off of your life. But now we've got this reversal in a sense because we're more overbought at a lower price. You can count from here, but it's extended and it has a zigzag in it, so it's not a clean signal. But if we count it, it's still going to be the we could still kind of force the indicator a little bit here now. I said this is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's outside. It's not the kind of reversal. It's not the optimal reversal. This is suspicious. Here's a now. If you really look at this stuff, this is daily charts, so you got all day to look at this. At the end of the day, this is total no nonsense trading. This is as simple as it gets. Your bias is blue. You have a reversal. Count it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-period reversal. 2, 3. The higher the quality. If it's a 3-period, here's a almost before this one 2-period reversal. I'm kind of forced a little bit. This is not lower than that, but this is the first time the momentum has this updraft just before it's the pause just before the pounce. The leading indicator is RSI. Also, you can draw a trend line here. You buy when it breaks this. This is your pattern. This is your coil, right? This is your flag. This headshot is coming in at the same time you're getting quadruple divergences. You got a coil, lost momentum. This is telling you this is an insane rally, right? Here's the reversal. Well, there's no trade there. So this is, people think, oh, this was a reversal. Yeah, kind of, right? You're kind of forcing it, but you're like, look at this. It's not at a lower price. But this is probably the seller's headshot because it's coming into this. I think it's more about it's coming into this window of old price than it is about everybody getting in on all the trades are based on this one indicator. So here's a divergence that gives you the setup. So why is this a good trade? Because how did you get there? You have a triple divergence coming into it. Here's your first reason why you might take that. You get divergence here. Buyers come in. Then it's slightly lower. So there's your triple divergence, which gives you that uplift. Now you got to start looking for the reversal. So the rhythm of the market. Reversal here, you're probably going to get killed. If you're going to trade the channel here, you would have to wait for RSI to come back to here, which is going to come back faster. And if that happens, it may be a top becoming a bottom at the same time, since RSI is the leading indicator. It's a trailing moving average of price in an index plotted. and using this as your simple bias system. We only sell, people that are still, here's your reversal. It's very long. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that is a killer fucking. People say, oh, dude, you just pulled the trigger at the end of the fucking day on a 5-period moving average, which is a great fit because, yes, if we went to the 1-hour chart, we should be running. I would change the cloud settings, which I'm not going to do because, well, maybe I would if I was looking at 1-hour charts. But I can kind of see that I want to go contrarian on the indicator, so you want to trade against it unless you stretch out the length. So maybe you have a Fibonacci cloud and you've got 21, 13, 8. Like if I made the settings like that, I might do it just to show you, because some people think maybe this is too tight a cloud, but on the daily it's a perfect fit because 5 period, that's 5 days, it's a week. So you're looking at a weekly chart. It's like triple screen trading because you don't have to go to the weekly chart. You smooth out the daily 5 times, you're fucking on the weekly, right? I mean, this is fucking. The simple moving average is a great starting point. Now, I guess if you want to tighten it up, the linear weighted is going to be snugger. So as you go out, I used to have a system I built. It was 55, 13 crosses of 55, so based on Fibonacci. And it gave you that signal where the confluence time overlays of, it's not all multiple time frames dashboard trading. What it is looking for that, just the idea of a 200 period move. A 200 period moving average on a 1-minute chart would give you a signal if you're going to do Alexander Elder entries, right? You're waiting for it to dip. The bulls have to have their heads underwater, under the moving average, and it's at an angle that's up. And if you pull the trigger on each one of those trades, you make money. So the win rate and these setups, and if you're looking at next week and we're going to do this trade and that trade and this is going to be fucking worth 300 pips, yeah, I mean, you would literally have to go maybe underwater for a day into this if you're going to build a position on that swing, as opposed to you're going to be in the market for 90 minutes, 2 hours. A completely different lifestyle. And you'd have to wait for the end of the day, or so maybe you. But if this thing keeps ripping up, there is no signal actually right now. You're just kind of waiting for that insane short squeeze that psychologically, the wheels are going to come off this puppy, especially if Bitcoin crashes today. Money just goes nuts. And if the dollar is a Bitcoin invention and there's US dollars, think about all the possible background fundamentals that people want to claim as the reason for the price direction currently. Because this open the oil reserve thing, when the market went up on that, because the news came out, people actually think that drove it up. Well, it's tanking right now. Crude's tanking right now, so how do you explain that? Well, fundamentally, the oil finally hit the market, or people thought, oh, this is fucking nuts. Well, people just stopped buying. The only regulator for inflation is people go, I ain't buying that shit. And then people got to put it on sale. What people don't like is volatility in their life. They want things steady Eddie. They want steady Eddie shit. So you got to have some feeling of security that things aren't going to come unwrapped. Sit back, and if you're waiting for the market to come to you, you buy this thing and you're like, yeah, nobody wants that, but they're going to want it. So people that were kind of clever are thinking ahead. I'm still upset my parents threw out my little train set, because later on I was like, man, this is worth a mint, this fucking thing. Of course, mine was all beat up, I think. But I'm like, this shit's worth a mint because nobody's making it anymore. But then I'm thinking at some point they're going to come out with like enough good printing systems that you want to replicate anything that you want, you know, just put it in the replicator. Like, you like this vintage shit, or you want to build parts to restore vintage gear? Just fucking scan it. Just get one piece and clone the shit out of it. I'm sure the scanners will be good enough that it's good enough. You hand polish it, you're done. Looks fine. You're good to go. So the daily looks like watching paint dry. The weeklies say, what we got on the weekly? 3 period RSI. 5 period cloud, so to speak. Look at these setups here. Now these are same story. Kind of not a perfect signal here, but another triple divergence, just like we saw in the other time frame. And these are all headshots, right? Bang, buy new lows, dump, buy new lows. Whoa, that's nice, but it's not fucking turning around going like that, right? Another, and then we get the reversal, kind of. You'd be forcing that trade a little bit, but I would definitely think, well, that's, woof. And then people are buying below here. Doesn't quite retrace. Here's a reversal. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 4 period winner. It's more overbought. Lower price. That's a great trade there. Had to wait a long time for that now. Grandpappy, he passed out before, but look at your weekly chart now. It just didn't last another month. Yeah, he said, don't forget, just before my last trade, put it on for me. What you sell here? Oh, it's going up into my cloud. I've spent my whole life building this fucking trading algorithm. You got to put that trade on for me, son. And then you're below here, so here's the lonely wick. If you trade, the other thing is, if you get this is your lonely wick to here, you buy everything below that, just like you would there, and that's what you expect this to be leading. This takes out the low from here too, and now you're below here, so it's pretty psychotic price. How sustainable then draw a trend line on RSI? Oh, we're pulling back, so I think you get another fill here. This might work out after all. So that's the thing. I could have dumped. You see what I'm saying? We were at 8,000, almost 9,000. It is 4:30 in the morning. We could have dumped that whole fucking thing. It's just downtime. We did not. 1 hour chart. It's pulling back into medium image. Try it. Look at that. See, we're not going to chase this puppy. We should pick up another $1,000, another 500K. That's what we're trying to get at here. 500K, that's going to be my, and we're waiting for the signal on our side too. Now these things are squirrely. This is faster. The 1 hour chart is definitely the thing, you know. You know the thing. Here's a reversal. Let me compress that a little bit. That looked like we got a little out of hand. Let's get this to make sense here. So on the 3 period, on the 1 hour, I want to have this kind of looking for the signals. My signal servers. You see that I posted in that thing? The guy that prop firm that was all. Here's your lonely wick. So put your orders and buy here. First long-legged reversal. Here's a nice top, become a bottom reversal. Bias says buy. No reversal here, but I bet on the half hour it is. Oh, this is the 15 for God's sake. On the 5 minute that it is. So the 5 minute, you got 2 to 5 periods don't really work on the 5. On the 5, you're gonna have to go with like a as deep as you want, really. 20 period. 20 period reversals, divergences that are 20 and down. That's the territory on the 5. And on the cloud, I guess you could, I don't know. I'd say if you did this, you'd have to make this cloud be 8 period moving average simple. Maybe you could also do a 8, 9, 10, 11, right? So you can put a band in there. You could build a cloud like that, and I would on the 5. So the time frame does matter for it curve fitting this thing. It only makes sense. I've been doing it for years. That the longer the shorter the time frame, the longer, the more lag, the more buffer the system needs. Because, dude, on the daily, to push a 5 period moving average around, it's kind of tough. Like once the bias just meaning that once we have a direction that's being, like if the robot was doing it, which I wouldn't trust the robot to decipher on the daily. I could do that. Maybe the robot's doing the half-hour chart, because that's going to be a lot of work. You have to be awake all day long. On the 5-minute, here's your long-legged reversal. So I would take this trade, and the babysit this maybe. All right, so that's 0. You got wait, this is probably about 20 period. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost 13. Almost Fibonacci there. But you'd have to buy here too. Don't forget, because at this point it is still a reversal. That's more oversold. Anything below there. So here's your lonely wick, or your turnaround. Like here's your head and shoulders, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Easier to see on our side than it is in price, but it is there in price. Your first reversal. This is the 5-minute scalper sniper entry. You got top, you got a bottom. You got 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 period reversal. Very powerful. Divergence is the cause. Divergence. Buy. If you didn't cash out here, they fuck you back to here. So this is the thing. Tension builds up. Now it's a buy. Buy at the market right now. Here, let me get at it. Let me get on this trade. I gotta hurry. Wait, now this just pisses me off. I wish I had my hotkey so I reach out right now. I just want to buy right now at the market. 22 pip stop to make 66 pips here. Kind of missed that entry because it's just fucking yakking away now. It's gonna be 40. They're gonna update the 5-minute chart here in a second. So I'm gonna have my finger on the trigger to buy some more. I'm gonna buy this, even though it went blue. So here's the contradiction. That's why you need a longer. So here's the way you could organize it also, and I've done this before, but in the end it's going to be how long do you want to be in the trade. You could put in these, because you go from a 5-minute chart to a 15, you want to be on the 5, but you want to have, it's going to be 3x moving averages, 3 times 1 hour. 1 hour versus 5. 1 hour, maybe you have it's how many trades you want to show up, and you don't have to, you back test it by looking at it and go, okay, well, it doesn't mean that it's going to be a perfect trade. It just doesn't mean that, and that yeah, if you know you're going to be awake on the 4-hour chart, obviously you back test. This would run on a 4-hour, maybe you have an 8 period moving average. It's just going to be matter how much, how many signals do you want? You know what makes it a signal out of it. So if it's over trading and it's shitty ratios and it's the trade logic, so to speak, is bad, then it's a problem. Here's some divergence failures that kind of give you a so yeah, the divergence becomes the buy. another kind of hidden divergence, big sell-off, but that's giving you a triple, and this one does work out because this is always getting slightly higher. This is slightly higher than here. A deep pullback. Anything below here, and it took out the, it came all the way back to the starting gate of here, which was this is the kickoff point. And now we want to buy on limits all the way down below there. So I place limits below me. They're already in there. And I'm not in big enough to blow up the account at this point, so I'm going to buy everything there. Go back to sleep in a minute. I had to take a nap. I'm still catching up. Thought fucking the seeing shit and hallucinating. So at 5 o'clock, coming into US Open, I'm going to buy some more. If we don't fill back into these limits, and the 5 minute, the bias just switched here. People were selling that. I'm buying this plunge. Got stacks of limits waiting. I'm going to buy at the market a little bit more. I got about 40 clicks left here. Buy this with a 66 target. So if you set these to 2K, then you can trade a lot on this account. So the broker is locking me out. The broker is my money management tool, because in these kind of accounts, they will only allow you to put in I think 1,000 tickets. Yeah, I'm allowed to put 1,000 tickets in here. So I can trade $1 million on one case. And if you make a 2K order, not only are you going to trade heavier on that ticket, but the broker is going to allow you to trade even bigger. So that's the danger, is that now? Well, you're just trading bigger. You have a threshold of risk. You're risking a $1 million position you're running. And then you go $2 million. But if you have the 1 clicks that are 2Ks and some clicks are 1K, then you've got the first bifurcation where you have a fork in the road where, okay, this equity, this risk format is going to go in a whole different, slightly different direction. I'm going to buy this plunge here. And then I'm going to, so I know that I've got about, how many clicks do I have left here? This is the big bruiser. 50 pips, $5 to make $10. This is my most risky, and double your ratio, double your fun. Okay. Well, I put about, I don't know, not many more K on that. That is a quarter after now. So this is a mini headshot on the 5, right? Because this is the head. And now I think it's ready. I'm going to put a, and then come back in with some tight limits, which I wish these only lasted about half hour, so I could free them up. And so another reason why you want the tickets to last a short time, you know, is so that your total risk of ruin is based on, one case is $1 million position on this particular broker. I think it's Hugo Way. And the broker, some brokers say, oh, you only have 100 tickets. So this is there. If you have $1,000 in the account, you know, this is, they're managing the risk for you in a sense, because you're only allowed to do this and this. The rules are set up like that. Yes, if you step into these forex account, now the default on it is a standard lot, and if you just put $2,000 in an account with a standard lot default setting, the broker can't wait for you to trade a standard. I mean, fucking A. See, the broker doesn't want you to succeed. I don't know. That's what they say, but I don't see how that would work out. Don't they want people to kind of just churn their account if they're lucky? But that's that's heavy trading. You got to be in and out. And sure, $2,000, you're going to probably blow it up. So if you gently trade this account and you're going to get in like that, then that matters, because now you can trade $2 million with, if you only trade 2Ks, you'll max out at that. If everything's set to 3K, then it just scales all the way up from there. So what you end up playing with, if you only give somebody so much rope, they can only hang themselves so much. This is how that works. So could I take this account up to $100,000 in a month? Sure. I mean, then you would have to write a 2K. And you just open up the file, you right mouse click, modify, and say at the very top of the rack, you put in the size, and this takes you there. Modify. And at the very top, you're just going to delete these things on your screen, and then you're going to say, let me go from a 1K to a 2K here, and that's going to make all of the difference. And if you scale like that and you build and rename it, and then you have to start name that 2K. Everything else is assumed to be a 1K unless it's noted otherwise. So the name of the scripts in this giant library of execution, it's all about execution, because you got to have some way to do it and some kind of certainty and happiness about it, or you can sit back and relax because you know you did this and that and the other thing, and you're just waiting for it to play out. Like here, come in with this. I'm going to put a 13 pip stop on a 4-hour. Oh, see, just fucked up because now you gotta be careful about that. I'm so close to the market, I just put in sell limits. This script will flip. So this is why I can't sell this stuff, because people would just be, well, put it in there. Yeah, so they became sell limits. Did you see that? Because I put them in so close, and the market moved just as they were coming in. That's why you want to trade 1Ks. You know, when you're really close to the market like this. So we're really close to the market, and that's why you want to be careful. It's all frantic. This is the 1-minute chart. Just as I was dropping that. And these arrows are black, so all the limit orders are black. And I think maybe I could make it so the color would be, if it was a sell, it would be red. Those would have ended up maybe red. Yeah, just before they drop. I don't know. Okay, so be very careful. This is a 15-minute. Now I can wait for the market to pause because I'm trying to get right in and buy more right here. I got to hold my mouse. I'm buying right there. Now that, if this is real money, this would be like a half-hour script or something, and maybe 2Ks on those. And another layer here. So how do you layer it? And these, I prefer these to be actually right at this point, and they're not. But then you change the time frame on this, you go through the code, you read for the stuff. It's pretty easy. So this is the 1-minute chart. So we are expecting a fill possibly on the stack. There's my Ashberg orders. Half hour says, yeah, buy the pullback. At the top of the hour, it'll update this half hour. Your bias is green. You're waiting to pull the trigger. I guess this is the trend trade shot. It's a hedge. You're trading a headshot failure because it went up, right? All the bears are like, well, that's going to sell into that. Right, it's spiking up. They're going to sell into that. Let's see if we pick up. I want to get to about 200 hours of margin usage here. This would be my optimal sizing. All right, where's the goddamn oh jeez, I gotta delete a lot. But I gotta update this thing. Usually I put this everywhere so I can get to it. I just make millions of Not millions, that's an exaggeration maybe. But inside a market, you know, so you can collapse these and just, I tried to make it organized, but that didn't work out. So here's like a big giant swing drop. This is a 15 pip range, 6 tickets, 8 hours. That's a different style of trading right there. You got a bad ratio down here that probably makes money. 40 pips risk to make 25. Here's a good ratio. 20 to make 60. That's a 10K in a 6 pip window. I'm sorry. I think it's a 10 pip window. No, 10 pip window, 6K. You have to rename them if you can't. Well, we would have bought here, so half hour. I'm sorry, 15 minutes ago, so we bought right there on the 15. On the 5, it looked like we were gonna get trapped. I mean, you did. If you took the sell here on the blue, you're trapped. Let's buy some more at the market. Let's chase a little bit. Hoping the market orders start clicking. Everything's a buy at the market. The sells are down here, so we're not. I don't sell a lot. You can see I'm not really in the selling. I just find it easier to see stuff goes up. Yeah, I could jump in the yen or something now, but see, I can't do it now because everything's here. So here's the yen. I should probably just make a template with the RSI, but we'll throw it on there because the RSI does work if you work it. It's like AA, you know, it's like a rehab. It works if you work it. 3 period, once again, very sensitive. That's a reversal there. But aren't people just real? This is a daily chart. Man, look at that. There's a headshot. Fucking with divergence and everything here. The only problem is you'd have to wait for this trade, but big long-legged divergence. I'm going to say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not bad. 3-period divergence. We should start to see a buy. And I guess people have been able to make, if they bought into this shelf, they made themselves at least 20 pips right now. It's a daily, but hey, you know, next week we'll probably be cutting into this shit. Here's the lonely wick. I think the 4-hour chart probably had a trade in it. It's pretty easy. 4-hour chart, you know, you're just going to have to wait for the 6 bars a day. So you should see at least a trade, 2 trades a week that are mind-blowing. Because you get a signal in less than a day, 2 to 5 period, 5 times 4, 20-hour signal, 20-hour ride. That's all you're waiting for. I'll go for a 4-hour chart. Just obliteration here. Here's your 4-hour buy. You missed it. You slept. You fucked up. But here's your reversals. They just show up beautifully. You have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess you want to cheat a little bit. You could just, but you're real close. This is a better quality signal. This is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess you'd have to buy, well, no, 6 again. Your bias is long on the 4 hours. You know. Divergence is the cause. It's a 2-period divergence. 0, 1, 2. Into the buy. Divergence of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the rhythm. See this classic triangle. Big rally. Big trap. Big order imbalance. Black Friday for the dollar. Oof. You can't bet the ranch here. There is no reversal. maybe here. More oversold, depending where that closes on the 4 hour. Here's a nice subtle sell. There's a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 period reversal. There's a nice little top tick Tommy 2 period reversal, divergence. Then a buy. It's an oscillator. 80% of the time the market's oscillating. I suppose you could have, like I said, it depends how often you want to trade. You could have monitors set up running. I'm surprised, you could make a fucking tick bar out of this thing. I wouldn't, but you could. You'd probably love that, just wait for 20 ticks, and then it's going to be the bar. That'll be the basis of this chart. But then it ruins the idea of momentum, because momentum is price over time. If you take time out, you just destroyed it. All the way back to the beginning of the week. Oh, we had so much hope for this yen. We bought on Sunday and we wrote it up and we stayed in, let our profits run, and then wah, wah, wah. Golly gee willikers. Took out that, took out that, took out that. People shit their pants. Oh my God, man. Can you imagine some goober is like, yeah, I got this, man. We put a buy stop here, we went long, see a confirmation. How's it working out for you? Well, I don't know. Joe told me this system has never failed. Never ever? Never ever. Till today. Just blew up my account. Not too happy, but I could keep dropping. So on the orders that last an hour, I'd be like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hours. It could be a real bloodbath. Stocks could just get obliterated. But they'll range. It's kind of hard to kill a bull, but boy, they're sure going to try at the end of the year here. I mean, fundamentally speaking. There's another problem with trading. I think that I can see what's going to happen. I'm overly eager. I guarantee you that I'd be 1 or 2 days ahead constantly in these markets. That's why I decided to go on limits, because I'm like, yeah, they're probably going to beat that thing down. Even Ashiti called that, but he framed the market just perfectly. God, this poor guy. So he does this video where he comes across as like, yeah, I'm just this guy in a room. I'm like, God, man. That is the coldest looking room I've ever seen. Why do people have these fucking trading rooms that are like fucking a goddamn cold medical examination room? They have to have cold in there because bugs start growing, see? Oh, there you go. We just updated the boom. Everybody updated here. The 4 hour charts. The 1 hour charts. Nice buy here, divergence on the 1 hour. So here's your last reversal. And I hope you took profits. This is 0. I'm sorry, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 period reversal. Divergence kind of causing it, and then you cash out in this wick. Really, you would sell here, and apparently we went down here. I'm not sure if we came here before we went to here, but we did. We'd have to look at the half hour to see it. What really happened. To prove it. Where's your proof? Let me see your trader. So you got to pay attention to this one. Here's a reversal into the cloud. That's a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 period. 5 period reversal there. Nice sell. Divergence is kind of causing it. there's your cause, right? Your divergence gives you the lift. Then almost on a 2-pair you would have a reversal here. No divergence yet. On the 15 I'm sure there's a divergence. Yeah, time frame matters. Oh, I'm on the here, let's go to the 15. Not exactly, kind of close. So here's another confirmation for another time frame reversal. And it's in the blue, so it's a perfect fit. That's a perfect fit because it's in the blue. It just so happens the pace of the market at this time of day. Yeah, so that worked out pretty good. Here's a divergence. Look for a sell. Here's a big long-legged reversal. This is more oversold. Sort of more overbought, lower price. You project off the lowest close, and there should be your first target here, price-wise. Also, that's how you do the projection of price. This is your reversal, the lowest close. This would be your target, first target. And then on the 5. So maybe later I'll play around. I'll put some bigger clouds in, but see, because on the 5-minute you're gonna get whipsawed here. Here's a triple divergence. So you want to push it. Yeah, you just bought right there. There's a headshot. Headshot on the 5. I had no idea that headshot video was his most. Well, I did look for his most popular video. He's actually trading this. No, that's the one that's recommended for you. And then I found out this other guy. I was horrified when I went over to the Algo box and found out this one guy had a. He was like a headshot. That's his favorite. I think he named himself Headshot. I was like, holy shit, man! Another landmine. There's a trap. He came unwrapped on me. I was like standing against into the wind on that thing. It's brutal. People don't. If you got an opinion, man, you're fucked these days. So that was the little mini headshot there. I'd be getting out, right? Cash out. That scalp's over. Almost 20 pips on that. Kaboom. $200 on a standard lot. Pulling the trigger there. Obvious divergence. No brainer trade. A zero brainer. Uh-oh. Yep, I'd cash out right there. So I'm out. Got in here. Made our 10 pips, 15 pips. Back to the currency I'm actually trading here, the euro dollar. Euro dollar, 5-minute chart. So, nothing there. I'll put in limits though. I can see it looks like it's wants to pull back. It wants to pull back just like I want it to. Here, big risk here. 22 pips stop to make 32. 4 hour. We could definitely hit that. We're itching to break this trend line right now. This is the big the trend line to break. What's the pattern? See? I call it triangle. So this would be wave 3, Elliott wave. This is wave 3. For completion, we want to take out this treetop, this one, and boomity boom zoom. So I could buy right now at the market. It's 5 minutes after 5 in the morning. I think the short squeeze might just start now. No, I'm just where I want to be actually. Get this using two down. How much margin we're using? $2,000. That's going to be my gauge. How much margin am I using dollar-wise? So we should be able to make $2,000 with $2,000 of margin. Get the account up to about $12,000. So today is the last day of the week. It's Black Friday. World's coming to an end. Stocks going to freak out. Everybody's going to shit their pants. Crude oil's backing off. Bitcoin's crashing. Oh, you just knew it. I should be buying right here, but I'm in. I got these limits. This is 5-minute chart, so see, it looks kind of scary on there on the our first yellow bar. We got a bias now, so I think I got a safe bet because I don't want to overload it, and if it pulls back, I can only get in more. Because I suspect the scalpers have made their money off of this little pocket here. Anything above there was like, wow, sell. So they sold that and they made themselves a tidy sum. High probability sum. I gotta use this box because the other one is. I just want to see how long that trade was. Like 5 minutes. So that's your sell windows. Anything above there. So your scalp would have been this price pulse. You would have sold here just based on price. That's your order block up there, Shisha. And doesn't quite make it back to the beginning of it. That would be, and if you never got out, you had a chance to get out here, so that's still a good trade. So I have stacks of tickets sitting here right now waiting for one more, because you could have a situation like this and then it finally goes up. So the scenarios, I'm just saying we have more flexibility with these small tickets. I would like it to pull back a little bit. So the 15 looks like it could easily pull back. We're the bias in the 15 says we're in buy mode. We got a finger on the trigger, but I'm already in so big. So this is about where I want to be. If the market should plunge right now, I would fill in all these limits. So I go back to sleep, and that's what I'm going to do. So we're waiting for U.S. markets to crash. It's going to be fucking crazy. Here is the Bitcoin. It's still tanking. It looks like a bloodbath for Bitcoin. I got rid of my ticket, but the arrow's still there. Gold went fucking nuts. Gold is in a sell mode. That's the daily gold. That's a 4 hour. 4 hours in buy mode. So the dollar's going to get crushed here. This would be your, looks just like the euro on the 4 hour. You buy into the cloud, pull back. Here's your headshot. Okay? I know what a headshot is, dude. Don't give me a, like, everybody thought that was a headshot. You know, right? That's a headshot. 4 hour chart. I'm saying buy everything below here just because on limits, and I would probably buy at the end of 4 hours. Buy gold. Dead cat bounce. Scalpers have already got out before that. Your bias goes into buy mode. Buy. Right? Here, of course, you know, this is kind of rough because you're buying this, and over here it's like, okay, I sold there and I got clobbered and didn't keep that. Then I bought here and it's just, yeah, you got, this blew the fuck, your robot blew up here, I gotcha. But you have another robot, another time frame. I'd be selling out. Anything above here, there's a little sell window there. So we know that's going to happen. That's a high probability. And just there's scalp world in here, and people got buy limits pending all the way back to here. In essence, you're really range trading though. That's what happens in the end. Okay, so it's time to take a. I gotta go back in the basement. Oh, I'm sure there's divergence here. So on our side, I'm not going to load it, but this is the guppy on the 1 hour. There's divergence there. Looking for that scalp. Yeah, the markets are really pretty fierce. Look at this big scalp. People are buying this pocket. I bet this is blowing people's minds, by the way. I said the guppy. This is daily chart. Man, that is a hell of a move. Look at that fucking down. I think I'll do a 300 pip move, man. I'm telling you what, the guppy is just astoundingly vicious. Price swings. Brutal as can be. Yep, a Nasdaq's kind of a headshot to the north on that. Ooh, that's going to be a nasty ride down. What about our good old Dow Jones? Dow 30. It's a joke, dude. People really think these markets are trees don't grow to the sky, you know. What are people thinking behind this shit up here? My God. The last burning, that's the burning match theory. The last guy holding the match. Wow, look at that. Thing's got a long way to, this is a weekly. Got a long way to drop. Oof. Bitcoin is getting obliterated today. What are the headlines? Oh God, everybody's running for cover. The world's coming to an end, people. That's still bullshit on the weekly. Yeah, people just love this shit. Look at this gold. I mean, look at this crude oil. Now what are they going to say? Well, I guess that oil reserve. Look at the obliteration of that. Yeah, nobody's going to fucking. Well, you don't need crude oil. All the fucking container ships are fucking standing still. It's called order and balance. It's called the wealth effect. Stuff shifts around. People can't understand it. They're like, what the fuck's going on? I know. Right, what the fuck's going on? This is like a fucking wrecking ball. Look at this fucking pound. The weekly. Look at the daily. Still getting trounced. This is not really reversed like the euro. Well, look how nasty this is. New lows. Now, this is a very fast trade. The template's fucked up. Look how vicious this move is. Oh, this is my old one here. Let me put this new one in. Oh, could just go range bars. What the fuck happened to my template? Who's been in here? Okay, here we go. Has somebody been messing with my... Here. Wow, look at that. Talk about order imbalance. So this is a classic... there must have been some news coming out, which triggered this event. This is a limit trader's dream. You got your orders down here with targets already built into them. You buy everything below here just because. I guess your first kind of headish shot, and then if you can afford to buy for 30 pips there, it engulfs all the way to this top tick Tommy shit. Unbelievable. Wow. Bam. And that's only take you a few minutes on that trade. So that's what that could really blindside somebody. If you don't know, I'm sure there's news that came out to cause that, right? That was a cause and effect situation. Let's hope. Look at the 5 minute. So when we come down here, this is when it's just kaboom, right? Kaboom. Below here, whoa, jeez, to the 20, back, scalp out, engulf to here, and then you're taking that 5 period moving average signal and buying that pullback. Above here, sell. You're up on that trade even now. It's just bookends. Just bookends. The world is just full of, like, you can't even believe it, man. It's too bad we can't take ICT and just do a stream with him and go, dude, it's your time to confess. You must be honest with people. You're just like, so below here would be a buy limit. Buy limits start there. Yeah, the British pound's off the races here. Let's put some tickets on this puppy. So these would work on here. Now we have to put wider stops in for sure, but this will work. Here, we'll do it. Just trying to make 12 pips. So bad ratios here. Here's break even. Slightly different price. Never repeat the input price. Here's a good ratio. We'll start here. And now we'll just lay the same trade plan down there. It's 4 hours of risk. That looks like a good trade. So I'm saying that in 4 hours, I'm putting in orders that only last for 4 hours in an auction, like eBay. I'm going to set my stuff up for sale for a certain amount of time, and come and get it. If you don't want it in 4 hours, then it's gone. This way, your exposure is for 4 hours. So the guy that's always asking about, I don't understand the expiration time, so why does it fucking matter? Well, because you're setting up an if-then statement in your orders. If you can make it down here, this is the empowered trading thing. If the market can make it down here in this amount of time, then therefore, bang, bang, bang. If she's hot and her parents are dead, you want to marry her, okay? Because there's no baggage. See, there's nothing to fucking have to babysit there. And then I would say, if this doesn't fill, also here's the one. We plug that off. Oh, I think it's going to drop. If my order tickets are here, just close the tickets out in front of it. So, why, okay, it looks like it's going to get crazy. I was watching this mindful trading girl lay these tickets in. If you think it's going to get crazy, pull some out. She kept on saying, it looks like it's going up, so I'm going to buy. It looks like it's going down, I'm going to wait. I'm like, oh my God. She's on a 1 minute chart. I'm like, oh my God, fucking hell, what are you trying to do? You're making us fucking lose our minds. Just put the trade on. Jesus Christ, people. For all that is unholy, for all that is vicious. But I think we crossed the Rubicon here. I think we're on the other side of the alley. We're still above. We've engulfed on the British pound. Come back to center point here. Start buying at the market maybe. But I prefer the limits because I'm already in the euro so heavy. And now what I should do is move my targets, which I'll do here, but it's a demo account, so this will be work for nothing, just to prove a point. But people always wonder why I blew up the account. It's because I don't treat it like real money in a sense. I don't really sit here, and I should do it, because what I'm going to do is go like this. Give me the most, what is the most profitable trade I'm in? I guess those pendings aren't that. So if I go for what's about to cash out, let me move these targets. Okay, it's only 90 cents. Let me, now this is going to take some work. Watch this. We say, I'm going to set my profit for 44 pips, 44.4. Hit this, modify. I just keep moving these tickets. They're flashing because they're about 10 pips from taking profit. And we think it's going higher. So instead of trailing my, widening my stop, I'm going to widen my target, because these are scalps. I'm going to turn these into swing trades right now. So I've done this before, and it doesn't happen. And I feel like I spent all this time moving these fucking targets, and the fucking market's going to fucking not go there. That can happen too. So it's still work. It's still a job. I know people want to let the robot do it, but if we really want... Now, I would buy the pound here, but I'm already in the euro. We've crossed over the bridge, I think. It looks like we got a leg up. We wicked down. We blew people's minds. We blew out shit from, like, what is that? This has been dripping down just like the euro. But this one hasn't turned yet. So we could chase it down a little bit. But no, I'm gonna sit in this trade here. Now here I could buy at the market, right? We're about to make a leap, but instead I'm just going to move the targets, and we could make more money. So it's not about that. Half-hour chart, RSI, no signal, dailies, big divergence down here. Wait for it to come into, and I got scaled out targets all the way to here, so I'm just going to let it happen. This has got another 40 pips to go to hit target on the daily. And the squeeze could probably go on forever now. I mean, if you look at the weekly, not forever, but I think we're definitely going to, it's going to be, as they say, the lows are in, but we always think the lows are in. When we decide to go long, we're just like, oh, geez, well, I think the lows are in. Oh, gee, that just blew up my account. I guess the lows aren't quite in. I just was one of the new lows. And then turns out like that's, you could say that's the headshot, on the daily, coming back to here, being back much, and then it's going to be a long time. If we make it here, this is going to be 200 pips away, and there'll be all sorts of shenanigans to buy on pullbacks or even sell as you start clipping the higher highs. So that's that. So in the Discord, I'm going to put this in the forex. There's a forex file. Forex, let's go. Let's zip them up. I'll zip the whole thing up, but because I'm lazy like that, I can zip the whole thing up and just put scripts. And hopefully you'd understand that if it doesn't say gold or Bitcoin, it's going to be forex, and if it says NASDAQ, so as it is, click at your own risk. There's double clicks in there and stuff, but for the ambitious people that want to risk their fortunes and their blood, I'm just going to put the whole thing in there. And some of this is under construction, so some of this stuff won't work, but so the thing is, if you drag and drop everything in here, double clicks, if you take a double click script and you drag and drop it, so the drops, when you drag and drop a drop, somewhere in the chart, if it's a true drop, in other words, you can't double click it to execute it. If it's a real drop, it's going to depend where you drop it on the screen is where it's going to show up. That's your order placement. If you double click, it's pre-coded how deep that is. But if you drag and drop a double click, it'll still execute, and it'll throw in the same array of orders as if you double clicked it. Those are set up to sell and buy, typically, on limits, although you could write a stop entry. You could rewrite it just with the word stop in there. This depends on your style of execution, what you feel comfortable. Are you a confirmation guy, or do you stand in front of the market and go, fuck, this is a bullshit move? There's the two extremes. We go with the flow, or do we go against? Do we contrarians, or are we trend traders? The trend's your friend until it's not. Are you going to build a position against the trend? And then are you going to wait for the pause into the so-called trend or your bias, and then do that with a tighter stop and so a bigger expansion, so you risk 1 to make 5, whereas by piling into the sell-off is more about wide stops and wide targets and the sizing, because you're always going to, on the trend trade, you're always going to say, well, let's get in heavy and let's go for a big long target. A tight stop. You can get in heavy because you have a tight stop, because you're waiting for that beautiful setup, but it rarely happens. So your frequency of trading, so that this blend between the frequency of trading and the unfrequency of trading. So that's going to matter in that size and how everything blends. All these things being equal. But they never are in a market that's psychotic, and then this one day, and this moves like this, heavy moves. And markets start to come on full. They come on ramp when they go sideways too long. The cause for the effect, the Wyckoff, is that there's a cause and effect. Markets can't go sideways forever, and they can't go in one direction forever. The clock's ticking. The triangle's forming. The apex is starting to really get ridiculously small. The delta's getting small, and the explosion happens, and it doesn't always move in the same. It doesn't always go with the trend. It can go scatterbrain, and it can just start filling upper and lower vacuums and just go nuts. And once it's done, the news is out. It's satisfied both directions. You end up with this pin bar doji on whatever time frame, the weekly. But that week was brutal from a buyer and seller standpoint as far as speed of market and all this shit. But like, unless you're going to have some way of trading these things or holding on for dear life through all this wicking, because the final destination 4 hours from now, 4 minutes from now, is X. Right, so all this stuff matters. Because you're riding a bull, I guess, for 8 seconds. This is the typical bull ride, right? If you can make it 8 seconds, I guess people showing off at 12 seconds on the bull and their fucking nuts are crushed. That could happen. So that's that. I'm gonna go take a fucking nap and get back in the basement and run for president.